Do you like hip-hop?
I do.
Yes?
Yes.
You do? Well, guess what? Our next guest as well loves hip-hop and fell in love with video games as well at the early age of 4 years old. He's a media personality and gaming journalist. He's in the studio to break down all the new features we can potentially expect from the PlayStation 5. Please welcome the HipHopGamer. How are you? Yes, I love the energy.
Yo, it's an honor to be here. I love y'all, man. I watch y'all all the time, so to be here is great. It's great, man.
Well, let's start with your beginnings, right? Because you clearly have had a passion and love for video games for a while. And when it comes to integrating hip-hop and gaming, you know, you were one of the people that were at the forefront of that.
Absolutely.
So how did you make that transition to being an on-air journalist and host and to bridge the gap between these two worlds?
All right, well, it started with my grandma right here, as you can see on my belt, if they can see it. That's my grandmother right here. So she's the one who taught me how to play video games when I was 4 years old. So, like, it was because of her that got me the influence to get into gaming. But the way I married the two is hip-hop and gaming grew up together. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I ever did. So I was watching Adam Sessler, right, when they had G4 Tech TV back in the day. And I love Adam Sessler. That's my guy. But there's this one episode where it started to feel like the corporations was taking over his voice, and I ain't really feel it anymore. So I'm the type of person where I don't complain, I just create. So in 2007, I made my first video, and people was feeling it, so I just continued on. I got discovered by Torrance Davis, who had a website called A Bit Bag, and that led me to E3. When I went to E3 in 2008 for the first time, like I did some of the biggest interviews there with Aaron Greenberg from Microsoft, Hideo Kojima, got a chance to speak with him and break some news. And then people looked at me like, yo, because they never see nobody like me, like in the gaming industry, you know, doing anything professional. So when they saw that, they took a different look at it. And that's when I was able to bridge the gap between hip hop, gaming, and let people know that we play games too. And if everybody do their study, 67% of gamers are all minority. You understand what I'm saying? So the way they show it, they don't represent us like that. So it was just great to finally be in the forefront and champion the fact that we all game.
Exactly.
Real talk.
Yeah. So you recently got to demo the Capto Glove technology. Can you explain to everyone what exactly that is?
Oh yeah, so this is the joint right here. So let me tell you right now, right? When Sony came out and confirmed that their PlayStation 5 controller was going to have that haptic technology, and they was saying how like if you rolling over mud, it'll feel like mud, or if you're trying to shoot a bow and arrow, you'll feel the resistance in the triggers.
Yeah.
So this video that I put out was back in 2018 at E3, right? So the Capto Glove, that haptic technology, that's already been there. It's just that now I got a chance to, you know, test it out. So when I tested it out, they had ice, right? And it felt like ice. It didn't just feel cold, but it felt like what ice would be like in your hand. Like that was crazy. And then they demonstrated it on Skyrim. So if you got fire in your hand, it'll feel hot. And the closer you get to a flame, it gets hotter. But, you know, obviously it's measured. But this is the technology that's gonna be in PlayStation, because I spoke to them about it, and they was like, PlayStation has texture driven haptic technology, but the temperature is gonna be added to it as well. So from what I'm hearing, it's from resistance to texture to temperature is how you're going to be able to be more immersed in gaming now from the control standpoint. So just imagine Horizon Zero Dawn 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, just imagine what the next Call of Duty is going to be like on those systems. That blew me away. But, yo, listen, like, you don't understand. I felt it, y'all. Like, I was holding it, and I was like, yo, this is really happening. So I know it may seem funny because you're looking at it, you know, from the video, but when you feel and experience it, it's a game changer, and it's also a game changer for VR because I believe PlayStation 5 will have a wireless option for their VR, but even with the gloves, because when I asked them, you can use both gloves. So whether you have a controller in your hand or not, you can just use gloves to be able to move, fight, and do everything without the need for a controller anymore. And also, another thing with that is with the controllers, you need a camera to pinpoint the controller. You don't even need a camera, actually. You can actually, the hands itself will, you know, activate like in game so that you don't even need a camera to recognize it. It's, yo, that technology right there is crazy. And when I spoke to them last week or so, they spoke about how old games. So you could go back and play like classic retro games like Def Jam you was mentioning before. Like you can go back and play the old games, and they can implement that technology in older games.
Oh, wow. That sounds
This is crazy.
That definitely sounds like a game changer. And then I know that another game changer that they brought up was the haptic feedback technology that they were mentioning in the PS5 controllers. But apparently it's not going to be the same that based off of the information that we've had come out already. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so the information that came out already from the journalists that went up there to demo it, they was talking about it from a standpoint of how the analog sticks felt when you moved them and the resistance in the triggers. So this part right here is supposed to be the actual base of the controller. So if you look at every DualShock, the rumble is in the grip of the controller. So the haptic technology that you see on my fingertips in that video, that's where I felt it at. So that technology is supposed to be in the grips of the controller. So think of it like this. There's this box that's out right now, and they call it the 4D Vortex. And what it is it blows air that simulates what's going on in game. So it blows air and it changes color. So think about that, but in a controller now. So PlayStation gonna kill everything. Like I'm telling you, 2020 is, oh look, I love Xbox too, don't get me wrong, I'm a gamer. I play mainly on PC anyway. But PlayStation, with those exclusives and what they're doing, and the rumors about Horizon Zero Dawn 2 and what people were saying about that, I'm scared. I'm telling you, it's going to be fire. So I'm looking forward to that.
So piggybacking off of that, because you're saying PlayStation is going to be fire in 2020, VR technology seems to be growing and they grow each year. What would you expect that they're going to kind of bring together VR with this particular technology? And what would be that experience?
Well, one of the things when I was speaking with them over at Haptic Glove is that beyond just gaming, they wanted the reason why they got this technology and stuff like that is actually to help people like stroke victims and help people that's actually, got limited abilities, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it all started, to kind of give them a sense of doing things that they normally can't do, you know what I mean? And making them feel more immersed. The way it works with the games coming with PlayStation 5 in terms of their VR is that they want to create a scenario where, put it like this, you're immersed by what you see, but you're not immersed by what you feel. So pretty much to complete what VR should be, this technology will add to that completion. Now, I'm not sure what they're going to do next. One thing I was speaking to my sister about was that they may try to simulate weight, whereas if you're holding something, they can make it seem like it's heavy, even though it's something light that you're holding. So I think that's the next generation of it. But in terms of right now, this is just another step of being closer to reality. Think about it like this. When you're, let's say you're at a Samsung store and you're looking at the demo of a roller coaster going down and stuff like that, there's a reason why you're in a chair and it's simulating like it's really falling. Imagine that, but in a video game now. So when you playing some of the latest games that's gonna come out, when you throw something, you'll be able to throw fire. But before you throw it, you feel what you're about to throw. Oh my, so I'm very excited about that, but I think that's why they did it, to complete the immersion of VR. Across the board.
Well, all the information you gave us, we're super excited for that. I'm not really a PC gamer, I'm more of a PlayStation gamer. So just to have all that, it makes me super excited for what's coming. And on top of that, it's the 25th anniversary of PlayStation tomorrow as well. So getting this information now is just making me super, super excited. But I just want to ask you, it's so great when we have people who are passionate and they come on our show and talk about gaming. And clearly you've been doing this for a very long time.
Absolutely.
But for those who are watching, who may want to be in your seat and cover the video game industry as a whole, what are some advice that you would give to them in order to get into the scene, overall?
Okay, so a couple of things, and I'll make this quick, but a couple of things is, one, know what you want to do. Actually know what you want, because when you have some sort of focus, you can go to that destination. So know what you want to do. So if you want to be a journalist, or if you want to be in PR, if you want to be marketing, whatever in that gaming space, know what you want to do first. That's the first thing I would say. The second thing I would say is you want to be where the people that you want to connect with is at. So E3 is now open to the public. You know what I'm saying? You got Comic-Con, you got PAX, you got a lot of these places. So if you're not willing to invest in yourself and save up money to travel and go to these places, then you really don't want it. Ain't nothing to talk about. So my thing is, the next thing is you definitely want to be where people are at so you could be able to build those relationships. So that's the second thing. The third thing I would say is be consistent. A lot of times people do something, especially in this day and age with likes and followers and subscribers. It's
for a week.
you know what I'm saying? Here, I'm gonna give you some context. I officially broke into the industry in 2008. It's 2019. I used to work in the mailroom, right? I used to supervise the mailroom for every record label, Def Jam, Universal, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my peoples over there. And I was able to leave that job in 2016. So it took me like a good, like 8, 9, 10 years before I was able to like leave my day job and do this like full time, what I love to do. So if you ain't consistent, you really don't want it. So those would be the 3 things I'll tell you. Know what you want to do. Get in a room where people that are like-minded, that you can build relationships with, and be consistent.
I like that. I like that.
And as someone who has seen you kind of blossom from having your own website and literally huffing it, and I've been there. I was with you when you were with Dailymotion, and I was like, you had that mission. I remember you from the get-go, and you've always been true to yourself.
Thank
I just want to thank you for coming onto the studio. Thank you for sharing your story, and more importantly, thank you for always being true to yourself and letting everybody know that even though it's hard out there, you can make your dreams come true.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like if you don't have a passion for it, then it ain't gonna work. So shout out to my man Gary V in VaynerMedia, because like, he always talk about this as well. But I've won in life because I chose happiness. So even when I was in the mailroom delivering mail, I was happy then. You know what I'm saying? Because I was just blessed that I was able to just play games and do what I love to do, and I was doing it for free at that time. But once I got into the position that I'm in now, I'm just even more happier, but I just understand the importance of life. And if you can't live and do the things that you love to do, you're going to be miserable, and you don't want to live a life of misery.
Yes, you do not want to live a life of misery. HipHopGamer, thank you so much for joining us today.
Appreciate it.